Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So, in today's lecture, we shall be talking about the partition of India and the independence that we got in 1947. So, for today's topic, you can just write it down as you can place the unit name as partition of India. Along with that, we will be studying independence. So, partition and independence in India. When we talk about the partition in India, okay, we can change color like this. ठीक है. So what do we have is when we say that India was partitioned. So before actually going to the partition, in the previous lecture we had already talked about the partition state, and the partition state was basically proposed by the British public. So Britishers in India wanted India to be separated. Therefore, there was a prime minister, PM, in Britain, namely Clement Attlee. He sent Lord Mountbatten to India to give power of transfer. Means power were to be transferred. Therefore, we can say that PM in Britain, who was Clement Attlee, who was in favor of giving the independence to the Indian people. Therefore, he sent Lord Mountbatten to India to show the power transfer. This was how the power transfer occurred. But before that, we have studied that Wavell plan was there, which was completely rejected, by, we will say, Indian National Congress and the leading communities. Therefore, after this Wavell plan, this came in 1942. After this Wavell plan, what came? We can say the plan say cabinet mission came. Cabinet mission came in India in the year, you can say, 1946. There were certain treaties or there were certain facts that were given to India in this year, that is cabinet mission in 1946. So now this cabinet mission, what does this cabinet mission says? This cabinet mission says that this cabinet refers to House of Commons. House of Commons in Britain was there, and when House of Commons was there in Britain, there were the cabinet ministries that was sent to India so that the India or the transfer of power could take place. Therefore, all the things that were mentioned in this mission came to India. People were sent to India. The rulers, or we can say the officials, government officials, were sent from Britain to India so that the Indian public could be satisfied, or they could be known, or they could get to know what all policies, treaties, or things would be given to us when we would be given the power. So this is what the cabinet mission actually tells us about. So background says that the cabinet mission was sent to India in year 1946, and when we talk about the Mountbatten plan, it came to India in year 1947. So again, that is also important. Which year what is coming? तो पहले आया था Wavell plan, that was completely rejected. Then came the cabinet plan, and then came the we can say the Mountbatten plan. It actually came in the month say June, and when we talk about the cabinet plan, it came in the month of May. So if you can remember the month along with the year, that is good. Okay, to discuss the finalized plan for the transfer of power, it aimed to preserve Indian unity while accommodating the Muslim League's demand for Pakistan. It is said that the Muslim League was demanding Pakistan, and who was the actual leader during that Muslim League? The actual leader of that Muslim League was found to be Muhammad Jinnah. Muhammad Jinnah, who was basically made the Governor General of Pakistan. And when we actually got independence, the Governor General of India, the Governor General of India was made was made Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten. Though he was the viceroy when he came to India with the Mountbatten plan, he was the viceroy at that time, and he was the last viceroy. You also need to remember, last viceroy he was. So that ways also you can remember. Okay, coming on, what cabinet mission is all about. Cabinet mission was given to us by the three main leaders. One was Pethick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps, and Alexander. Cripps mission you must be knowing the Cripps mission. Cripps mission basically was the mission that during the World War Two. Okay, let me just give you a brief explanation. No, 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 no. During World War Two, during World War Two, two committees were fighting. One was Access Committee, and another was Allied Committee. So these two committees were fighting. Access Committee basically had Japan was there, Germany, and Israel. These committees were there. When we talk about Nazism, this is what we're going to talk about World War Two. And when we talk about the Allied communities, there were sovereign unions, we can say. UK was there, or you can say USA was there. UK refers to Britain. And I hope you all know what is difference between American states, Britain, UAE, and all those specific things. Okay, so this was the World War condition during that time. Huh. So Access Committee was there, Allied Committee was there, and they were basically fighting. So what happened was, coming back to our Cripps mission, Cripps mission said that if you want us, or we were unwillfully war at this state. So the British community said that if you will support us during World War Two, then we will give you dominions. Dominion shall be given to the people of India, to which that actually failed. So that was the Cripps mission. Cripps mission, you can say Cripps mission, and it actually failed mission. It was a failed mission. Why Cripps mission? It was given name from the Stafford Cripps. Lord Stafford Cripps. We want support and we will give you independence, to which the public said that we will not be supporting you at any cost. We just want India to be an independent state now. So coming back to our, where did it go now? Wait. Huh. So members we have talked about. Now let's talk about the objectives. When we talk about the objectives of the Cripps mission were nothing but they said that Cripps mission shall be giving you the interim government. Interim government is the temporary government. Temporary government before independence. before independence. So, who actually was the temporary government? Cabinet mission, cabinet team actually said that we will be giving you an interim form of government so that you can frame the constitution, and partition could be avoided by addressing the general problems of the public who are facing, or we can say the communal tensions could be avoided. But the main proposals of the cabinet mission were, these were the objectives. And what were the main proposals? The main proposals of the cabinet mission were: formation of Union of India dealing with foreign affairs would be there, defense and communication. Then we would be having the provinces would retain all other parts, provinces grouped into three sections, that is Hindu majority would be there, Muslim majority, and Bengal and Assam majority. Constituent assembly to be formed from framing the constitution, provision for interim government at the center, and no separate Pakistan granted, but grouping system would be introduced. So what they basically proposed was that we will not allow India to be partitioned. Then the Indian National Congress and the general leaders of that time or that era thought that if India would not be partitioned, then there would be the civil wars going on inside the community. Therefore, people rejected the cabinet mission and accepted the Mountbatten plan, in which Muhammad Jinnah, the leader of the Muslim League, and the Muslim League, whole of the Muslim community, was majorly satisfied as they were getting their own state. Therefore, the partition was focused upon more than creating an creating a state, an Indian state, that would be facing internal, or we can say the communal or the civil wars. And later on, what happened was the major part of India was kept with India, and most of half of it was also given to Pakistan, so that the public could be satisfied. So separation was basically forced, or we can say proposed by Mountbatten plan, whereas the cabinet mission never asked for a separation. It said that communities can live together, but the leaders thought that if communities would lead together and they would live together for an entire coming generation, therefore that will be creation of civil wars inside the community, and India would be further separated into divisions, which is not good. Getting so many Pakistans instead of giving one Pakistan, so giving one Pakistan was more beneficial than giving so many another Pakistan from India itself. Therefore, the partition was accepted. Then then we have the Constituent Assembly. What all did it comprise of? The Constituent Assembly said that we would be arranging for the members of 292 from the British provinces would be there, and the princely states will only be given 93 seats, along with the chief commission provinces that were 4. So it said that 389 total members would be there in that. Now, what were the reaction? Reaction was that partially it was accepted and partially it was opposed by the comprising groups. Why? Because the separation was not given. Therefore, the Muslim League was not accepting. Obviously, other leaders also thought that giving away one Pakistan is more beneficial than giving away few Pakistans after every year due to the regular causes of the civil war. Then the Muslim League initially accepted but later rejected and demanded for Pakistan. This whole thing was done by the major leader, that is Muhammad Jinnah. The differences led to action, direct action day. Then we have the failure and the significance. Why did Cripps cabinet mission fail? It actually failed because the thinking mindset of the public was varying. That means the leaders were also varying between thinking what to do, how to do, what all to be proceeded. The leaders of the Congress party and the leaders of the Muslim community, they never shared goals after that fail of the plans, so they never came on the same page, and due to which the leaders and their followers were fighting, due to which there was a discontent feeling among the civil, leading to the civil wars inside the country, and hence we can say that people were fighting against each other. Interpretation of the grouping provisions, however, it laid the foundation for the Constituent Assembly, which later framed the Constitution of Independent India. This says that the significance is nothing but the Constitution, framing of the Constitution was laid. The public, or we can say the government, now got to know that if we want to lead India, we would be there would be certain sort of period at which we need to frame our constitution. Therefore, constitution, the thing that came onto the public or people's mind, the first thing that came, or the good thing we can say, is that framing of the constitution would be allowed. The second thing was that people were fighting or civil communal wars would be conducted if the partition would not have been proceeded or accepted. We would have accepted the cabinet mission. So this is whole of a process which talks about the cabinet mission. Now coming on to the partition, when we talk about the partition of India, okay. When we talk about the partition and independence of India, so we have already discussed the things that were leading. So first and the major thing, that is the background. Background, we have most of it covered. Let's see what is left so that we can cover that as well. Okay. World War impact, the history of World War, we have just read that there were two communities, the Aligned and the Axis community were there, and Britain was feeling economically weakened because Indian public was also not supporting Britain. Another thing is Cripps mission failed. Why? Because we do not want any dominion, two dominion of state, we do not want. We just want independence. Then is the Quit India movement was intensified by the mass struggle. We have already studied that. INA trials and naval mutiny shook British authority. Rise of communal tensions between the Congress and the Muslim League. Over various reasons, there were feeling of discontent among the between the two basic leading communities of that particular time. Now we have the demand for Pakistan. This demand of Pakistan was basically forced by none other than but Muhammad Jinnah, who shares a two nation state theory. In the Lahore session, he said that we want a separate state for Muslim community. We, if you are giving Bengal to us during the time of Lord Curzon, he was the viceroy. He initiated partition of Bengal in 1905, but later on that was annulled in 1911. Therefore, Muhammad Jinnah said that we are not satisfied with your partition of Bengal. Public was not satisfied, and at that time we did not have that much of thinking that we could think upon getting a new state or not. But now, since we have proceeded too much and we do not share the common thoughts, the common side processes with the public or with our, we can say, the side government, therefore we need a different state, that is Pakistan. Direct Action Day was also there. That was causing riots in basically Calcutta or Kolkata, you can say. The important development said that the cabinet mission plan that we have just discussed, in which the major thing was federation of the government would be there, and another thing is that federation basically a reference you can say to that framing of the constitution would be done. Then we have the interim government. Interim government would be headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, but the thing was that interim government would be nothing but a certain sort of temporary form of government. Then the Mountbatten plan, as we have already discussed the Mountbatten plan in the previous video, you can go to that, you can think about it later on. Then we have the Indian Independence Act. Indian Independence Act, or you can say the Partition of India Act, was or bill was passed in Britain in 1947 because the Mountbatten Plan said that you need to accept your independence before 1948, otherwise we shall give the authority or the power of the state to some other public. Therefore, on 15th August 1947, we accepted the independence, and on 14th people of India or people of Pakistan accepted their independence. So these two acts were passed during, we can say, in Britain. So over there they are known as bill, and over here they are known as act. After this, Jawaharlal Nehru actually requested last viceroy, that is Mountbatten, to be the Governor General of India. So he became the Governor General of India in year 1947 after we gained independence, and also after, or we can say the first and the last Indian Governor General was C. Rajagopalacharya. Uh, uh, huh, he was C. Rajagopalacharya, and the first president, that is the uh, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was also the member of the framing community. Framing of what? Framing of the constitution that actually came in the mind of the public, Indian public, from the plan of the British. That plan is basically known as cabinet mission or cabinet plan. The partition and its consequences, the first and the major consequences was that while the partition would be done, the princely states would be given their opinions. Okay, so their opinions were to be calculated, and while partitioning, everything has to be taken care of. Therefore, the partition committee or the boundary committee would be set up, in which the Lord Radcliffe would be playing the major role. Therefore, the line of control is also sometimes known as the Radcliffe line. So we have the Radcliffe line demarcated the boundaries, migration of around 14 to 15 million of people. Along with this migration, some was forceful, other was willfully, and most of the people also died while migrating. Many families separated. So civil integrities were there, due to which people in the civil thing or the civilians actually faced a lot of difficulty during this partition. Then we have the communal violence leading to approximately 1 million deaths, refugee crisis and rehabilitation challenges. When the people were migrating, some were accepted, some were not, but Indian government and India from that period till up till date always accept the refugees from all sides, either be it Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, or Pakistan as well sometimes. Then we have the princely states integration under Sardar Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, known as the Iron Man of India, we have already discussed about him as well, who said that if the princely states, like 600 princely states were there and they were not ready to join India, they said that we want to form another, our form of government, our country we want. Therefore, giving 600 different things, or separating or giving out 600 parts from India would be a difficult task. Therefore, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, known as the Iron Man of India, he came on forward. He requested all those 600 princely states, he made them sign the treaty and asked them to stay the part of India. Therefore, he is given a great tribute. Then we have the constitutional and the political significance. The first and the major thing was that after 1857, the major thing in the political was the we can say the company East India Company rule actually ended and the Crown rule started. But after this, after the independence, the British whole of a rule has ended. During that period, India became a sovereign dominion on 15th August 1947. Beginning of the Constituent Assembly, full sovereignty was given. Means you are the leader, you would be having all of the power. Then the foundation for adoption of the Constitution on 26 January 1950. That is basically celebrated as Republic Day in India, but the framing of the Constitution was done on November 26, 1949, and after a few months, it was basically accepted, and that is where the adoption of the Constitution occurs, like we celebrate it as Republic Day in India, where unfurling of the flag is done and not hosting. Hosting is basically done on, you can say, 15th August 1947. It was done for the very first time, but every year it is done on 15th August, and unfurling is done every year on 26th January. So, if we talk about the PYQs, we have the critically examine the causes responsible for the partition of India. So, causes would be like they have already been mentioned in this, the background of independence. All these are basically the causes, and most of it was the demand for Pakistan from the side of Muhammad Jinnah. You can also discuss about the Mountbatten plan and the Wavell plan and also the cabinet mission plan in this question respectively. Discuss the Mountbatten plan and the transfer of power. So it has already come, it might come again. You can do this question. Then we have, was partition inevitable? Give arguments in favor and against. Both you need to write. Was it inevitable? Like, was there a possibility that partition would never ever had happened? So if we would have accepted the cabinet mission plan, the partition nahi hota. But now, since we rejected, or not we, actually the leaders of that time rejected the cabinet mission plan, therefore now though it is not inevitable, but before it would have been, because the cabinet mission plan was against the partition. But if the partition would not have been there, then there would have been many Pakistans instead of one Pakistan. So giving away one Pakistan is better than giving away major part of India in form of small little Pakistans. So this was all about how we gained independence, and this was all about your modern history. So congratulations, you have completed modern history of yours. I hope you will complete all your lectures before your examination. Thank you and keep watching.